Hello everyone, greetings to you wherever you could be watching us from. Welcome to another episode of UJ Sport on UJTV. My name is Collen. I'm the communications coordinator here at the University of Johannesburg. Today we're talking qualifying for the Olympic Games and the Paralympics that are upcoming in Paris 2024 in France. Of course, UJ has got 3 students that have already qualified and selected for the SA team that's going to represent us in France. And of course, I'm talking about Yane van der Merwe, Leif Pillay, as well as Caitlin Rooskrantz. With me today, I'm talking to Yane van der Merwe, who is qualified to represent South Africa in Discus F44 class, as well as Shotput. To hear or to tell us more about the journey of qualifying for the Olympics, how it feels like to qualify on an international stage, we've got Yane herself here to tell us more. Yane, how are you? And welcome to another episode of UJ Sport on UJTV.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
I'm so jealous. I wish I was the one that was going to Paris, but of course I'm not playing high, competitive sport. And you are the one that's going to France to represent not just UJ, but the whole of South Africa. Immediately after the Olympic Games have finished, the Paralympics will start from the 28th of August until the 8th of September. How does that feel?
It still feels unreal. I qualified for Tokyo, the 2020 Paralympic Games, but unfortunately I didn't make the team. So with the Paralympics, things work a bit differently. So even though I qualified, South Africa as a whole needs to create slots, and how you can do that is at World Championships you can be top 4, then you create a slot for South Africa. So that means basically we have 3 women slots, so South Africa can send 3 women to the Paralympic Games. So we're hoping to create more slots in the 2 months that is left, to create more slots so more women can go.
I'm more interested. You are an athlete at UJ, of course, competing for the Students for Sports for Students with Disabilities Club, right, at the University of Johannesburg. I'm more interested to know more about you. Some people may not know, for instance, who is Yane van der Merwe. Of course, I know a little bit about you because we've done quite a number of articles about your performances in different competitions. Who is Yane, and how did you get involved in sport?
My name is Yane van der Merwe. I'm a 6-year student at UJ. I'm busy with my master's now in sports management. So looking forward to doing all that stuff. And I'm also basing it on the Paralympics, so it's exciting for me. But I started with disabled athletics only in end of 2018. So it was my matric year, going to Portugal. It was really fun. And then 2019 came around, got to UJ, met a new coach, Pierre Blignout. He really has taught me a lot. He's the reason why I qualified for the Paralympic Games. He just took my technique to the next level. And here I am today, hopefully going to Paralympics 2024.
Yeah, quite exciting stuff. Speaking of Pierre Blignout, who's the late Pierre Blignout, the throws coach here at the University of Johannesburg. You participate in the category F44 class. Please just explain a little bit to our viewers. What does that mean, and who qualifies to participate in that kind of category of competition?
Okay, so in the Paralympics, we have different classes to categorize different disabilities. So, for example, we have visually impaired, so they can't compete with someone who has a limb deficiency. So it's just to get the admin part sort of out of the way. So F44 means a lower limb deficiency. So I was born with a club foot on my right. After multiple operations, they fixed it, and so I can't move my right ankle, and I don't have any muscles in my lower leg, so below the knee. There's no muscles that can build or move or stuff like that.
Okay. Now I want to talk to you about your inspiration to be a student athlete. What sparked that?
That's a difficult question. I don't know. From a young age, I did athletics. So primary school, I did everything: netball, hockey. High school, I even did girls cricket on top of that. So yeah, I don't like to sit still to keep in a box. I like to challenge and see where I can improve my skills and make me a better athlete. So
Okay, I understand. I love soccer. I tried soccer in high school. I tried different sporting codes as well. I played volleyball. I played tennis, and I did tennis. You played more like it's more like tennis, tennis slash volleyball. But you use this wheelie thingy. You throw it to the other side. You can play individuals or you can play as in pairs. Yeah, throw it over the net. They catch it, release it immediately. So that was very interesting. Well, of course, that was just high school and not anywhere after that. Let's speak about your experience in participating in international competitions. You participated in the Para Athletics Grand Prix in Dubai last year. So early this year, and you've also competed in the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham in 2022, and then last year you went to France in Paris. So this is not going to be your first time there. What does it take for a student athlete like yourself to participate in those kind of competitions on an international stage?
I'll definitely say you need to have a lot of self-discipline, especially for athletics, which is an individual sport. If you don't show up to training, it's not like your team can carry you into the games or something like that. It's all on yourself. So you need to have the self-discipline to show up to training, to do your best.
And let's talk more about your Sports for Students with Disability Club here at the University of Johannesburg. You are one of the senior students and athlete in that club. You've competed with quite a number of people that have already graduated and left the university. And you're working with the likes of Danae Roots. Of course, she doesn't belong to that club, but she's coaching you because she's been doing some throws here at the university. How many people make up the team or the club, and what type of sporting codes do you guys participate in? I mean, when you went to Bloemfontein this year to compete in the SAPD championships, national champs, and I mean previous other competitions before, I see quite a number of people, and I was inspired to see one of our student athletes from the athletics club was running with a visually impaired student, assisting them on the track. How many codes are represented through that club, and who can participate in there?
So as you mentioned, my coach Pierre Bliggenheid, he passed away early this year. But one of his athletes that trained with him for almost 12 years took me on and said, no, you still have a long road ahead. So Danae Roots is sticking with me as my coach now. And I have to say she really helps a lot because she's also an athlete. So bringing in the athlete coach part, it helps when I'm not in the mood for training. She knows what it feels like. But she's also helping me to coach the SSD club. We have a lot of sitting throws, so that is the class 54 to 52, if I'm correct, where they're in a wheelchair or, most of them are in wheelchairs. So, she's been helping me to coach that. In the SSD club, it's actually great for me to say this, but when I started university, we were only 4 students, and now we are almost 15 students in the SSD club. So we've really been growing, and it's amazing to see that for me. It also gives me the opportunity to teach them the skills that I have now, to carry it over to them. And as you mentioned also, it's amazing for me to see that the Able Body Athletics Club from UJ is half combining with the SSD club, like the athlete helping the visually impaired to run 100 meters as his guide, and even Danae that was at UJ to help the athletes now. And I think at SAs this year, it was a big nationals for us. I'm unsure of how many medals we got, but it's definitely more than what we got last year. So it's amazing to see.
Okay, interesting. I want to talk more about the support that you guys as the club are getting from the University of Johannesburg. For a club that deals with people of different disabilities, you need resources, you need different kinds of support. Transport wise, the cars that you travel in have to be modified to accommodate people that are on wheelchairs and otherwise. What type of support do you guys get from the university? I know that it's enough support, but I just want to hear from you, what kind of resources are there? If there's anything lacking that you wish maybe sponsorships can step in, what type of resources do you guys need, and what do you have currently?
I have to say, we are, as the SSD club, we are really grateful for the support that UJ gives us. I know a lot of the athletes wouldn't be at university if it wasn't for the sports bursaries that UJ offered for disabled athletes. And with that, there's a lot of athletes that's in wheelchairs, so they can't make use of the UJ provided buses to go to class at DFC or something like that. So UJ has a let's say like a lift system for the disabled athletes, where it's a combi bus that is designed to take wheelchairs, to take them from two classes, coming back, to take them to their sport. I also know there's a lot of athletes in the club that does wheelchair basketball. So the lift option gives them the opportunity to also go to still compete in their sport, to take them to training and take them back to the residence, all that. So
yeah. I must commend the UJ Sports for Students with Disabilities Club, because they've produced quite a number of athletes who have went on to participate or compete on an international stage. She just mentioned wheelchair basketball. Michelle Mohanedi is one of them, a young lady from Jane Fest. Proud of her. And there's Collen Lee as well, who runs. He also ran in the 100 meters for the fully abled people in Stellenbosch earlier this year. He also runs also for the SSD club. Who are some of the athletes that you can maybe drop the names here, just so that we know?
Yeah, so Collen competed at USAS, which is really great. I competed last year at USAS, it's great for me to see how the university sport like USAS allows disabled athletes to compete with able-bodied athletes. Like, I know in my years, there was nothing like that. So I fight and I'm glad to see that I won that fight. But also there's Jacques Hubert, who's doing judo. He's also competing internationally and representing South Africa. I know there's Lifa, he does rowing. Yeah, that's some of the big names. And also, she's part of the club. She didn't necessarily study at UJ. Maria Kombrink is holding the world record in Shotput for her class, which is amazing.
Those are the names actually that I wanted you to mention, not me mentioning them because I know them. They've done really well. I saw last year in Bloemfontein you competed in the USAS as well. Kombrink is one of the lady that received quite a number of awards as a club athlete here at the university at the UJ Sport Awards. You set a number of African records recently, one of them in Dubai, and you also set another one in Japan when you competed in the different events there or competitions. Please just tell us about that. I mean, you set an African record in Dubai, throwing 31.88, yes, right? And then you went on to even throw better than that when you went to Japan. You keep getting better and better and better. How do you do it?
Yeah, I think I'm able to do it because I'm still new to discus. So as a lot of the viewers might know, I did javelin coming into university, and end of 2019, beginning 2020, I switched over to discus. So it's still a new sport that I'm trying to learn all the new techniques and like the little things to it. So I definitely have to say that is the reason. Only now I'm catching on what to do, getting more smoother in the technique, and I'll definitely say my coach is helping a lot with that. So yeah, but yeah, on the African record, yeah, I'd say I'm very privileged to be able to improve on my own record the whole time. Like you mentioned, I did get the record in February this year. End of February, I was lucky enough to improve on that record. And March at the SAPD Nationals, I also improved on that record. So it's really like, I'm very thankful to be able to do
Just
that.
getting better all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, no, interesting. I wish you all the best in the Paralympics in France. I hope that you will make UJ and South Africa proud. I saw recently, I think 2 weeks ago, that the South African team that's going to travel to the Paris Olympics was unveiled. Saw some very beautiful pictures. Life Pillay was there, Caitlin Rosecrans was there, and of course the Paralympic team also that's going to leave will be unveiled in due course. Yes. And I hope to see you there, right? Yeah. All right. Lovely talking to Yane, and I hope that you're getting inspired as you watch this as well. If you are an athlete, maybe you've got a disability and you want to join the University of Johannesburg Sports for Students with Disabilities Club, where do they go and what do they do?
So they can just Google the SSD Club, or they can go to the Sports Bureau and speak to Lizanne Briver, which is our manager. Yeah.
Shout out to Lizanne. I know she's doing a lot to manage the club. It's not an easy one because obviously you deal with people with different disabilities. But the way she runs it, man, she's got a big heart and she's lovely at it. The way she manages the students traveling to Cape Town, traveling to Germiston, Bloemfontein, all over the country. Shout out to you, Lizanne. I think you're doing a fantastic job there. Yane, let's talk about the positions that you've been throwing your best, personal bests, and even smashing the African record in discus. You're also doing shot put. Those are the two sporting codes or categories that you are doing very well in international competitions as well as the local ones here at home. Tell us about the positions in which you finish in these international competitions, and why do you finish in those positions, and maybe what can you do to improve those positions?
So my first big international competition was 2022, the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. I wasn't on my best in that season, so I ended 5th. With not a great distance. I wasn't happy at all. Then in 2023, I went to Paris for the World Championship, which I finished 8th. Also not my best distance. I was a bit in a mental block, you can say. So you need to be mentally strong as well as an athlete. That is a big part of it, and that's something I learned in those 2 years. So 2024 has really been a high for me. In Dubai, I competed at the Para Athletics Grand Prix. I ended 2nd in Discus, which is really good for me with the African record. And in Shotput, I finished 4th, which I was also really happy with. And then going on to Stellenbosch, that is a mixed class we compete in, and it works on a point system. So I finished 3rd in both Shotput and Discus. At nationals, I got gold for discus, and silver for shot put. But now coming back from World Champs in Japan, Japan was really difficult to adjust to, because there was a 7-hour time difference. So when South Africa ate lunch, I need to go to sleep. So it was difficult for me to adjust to the new time zone and everything. And also competing in the rain is also a challenge. So I ended 5th in Japan at the World Championship for discus. And for shot put, I came 9th. So, happy about my, let's say.
As much as those international competitions, well, not all of them. Some of them you're finishing 5th and 8th. Yeah. And of course you finished 2nd in Dubai, right? Yeah. It's not a podium finish, but still very good because it's an international competition and you meet people that are highly, highly talented in there. It's not an easy feat to finish fifth on an international stage. It's a very, very good performance there. Now, something very important that I also want to touch on, Yane, is you qualified to participate in the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, which were held in 2021 because of COVID-19. So they just had to delay them by a year after the pandemic. But you couldn't go because, the South African team, you couldn't meet the threshold to be selected. This year again, you've qualified for the Paris 2024 Paralympics. Should you be selected to represent South Africa there, what are some of the things that you wish to achieve when you get there?
Like you mentioned, I qualified for the Tokyo Paralympics as well. But that time my world rankings was really low. So it was almost like I know the chances are very slim of me making the team. And this year my rankings is very higher than it was. So really crossing fingers to make the team. But if I have the opportunity to represent South Africa at the Paralympics, I'd say my expectation is just to go and give it my all, do my best, do new personal best. A medal not quite yet there. I'm still new, still learning, but definitely 2028 is the main goal to get on the podium.
When soldiers go into war, they don't say, we're going to lose. They go there to win. You must emerge victorious at the end of the day. So I wish you all the best, and I hope that you do get selected and bring home that medal, gold medal, not silver, not bronze, okay? Yeah. At UJ, as I mentioned earlier, we've got 3 students that have qualified for the Olympics. 2 of them, Life Pillay and Caitlin Roskrantz, have qualified for the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. Yane is a 3rd student at UJ who has qualified to represent South Africa in the Paris Paralympics. So hopefully she does get selected to make the team for to represent South Africa there. Life Pillay qualified to represent South Africa in the 400-meter sprint, and also went to the Bahamas and did absolute crazy things there. It was very beautiful to watch him, Wade van Niekerk, Gadio Isaacs. They did really good things there when they went for that silver medal to qualify for the world relay. For the 4x400 meter relays, which they will obviously be participating in that event in Paris in July and August. So come the Olympics, when you watch these guys compete there, what will be going through your mind, knowing that you could actually go there yourself?
It's difficult. I love athletics and I love to support people, so I'll definitely be watching and cheering on hard here from South Africa, or maybe even from France. So we are planning to head to France early August ahead of the Paralympic Games. So hopefully we will be able to maybe go watch them in person, which will be amazing. So
absolutely beautiful. And of course, Caitlin will be representing South Africa in all 4 events. That's bar, beam, floor, and vault in gymnastics. We wish you all the best, Caitlin, and I hope that we can still get to speak to you before you leave for Paris. I know that you're competing in Slovenia. You're back in South Africa now. So all the best with your exams. Same to you, Yane. And the whole world will be glued to their TV screens, cell phones, computers, laptops, everywhere, watching the Olympics. That's the highest pinnacle of sports in the world, and I can't wait to watch all the different sporting codes competing in the Olympics. From us here at UJTV, all the best. We'll see you in the next one.
The University of Johannesburg, the future reimagined.